Disclaimer: the insights and opinions shared on this show are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, we recommend consulting with a qualified professional to better understand your unique financial situation. Welcome to the Investors Playbook Show, where our mission is clear: empowerment through financial education. We firmly believe that financial freedom isn't a privilege, it's a right that's available to everybody. Each week, we dive deep into the world of finances, breaking down complex topics and making them accessible and actionable for everyone. As we grow this community, we invite you to join us on this journey. Why tune in? Because together, we're not just learning about wealth, we're building a movement, reshaping futures, and proving that with the right knowledge, financial success is within everyone's reach. It's time to get off the sidelines. Let's go.
Hey, welcome back. Another episode of Investors Playbook. I'm Cornell.
Deshaun. And before we get into this episode, which is about to be super exciting, we are going to talk about some of the news, some of the events we got coming up. As you all know, InvestFest is getting closer and closer. We are now almost, 2 months away from InvestFest? Yeah, we getting
July, August.
Yeah, so excited, definitely excited to be at InvestFest. Not just, to be a vendor there, but also to learn from all the other individuals, the other businesses, the speakers. Um, my first time going to InvestFest was in 2022. I missed it last year, but I think that, I think it's going to be a treat. I haven't seen anyone um, complain about the talent that was there. So I definitely want to dive in. I know I'll be behind the booth. We both will be, but getting a chance to meet and hear some of the knowledge and the gems that's gonna be dropped is gonna be exciting for sure. And come check us out. We're gonna be there.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know Deshaun said to learn, definitely to learn. I feel like a lot of information will be given us, will provided to us at the time, and of course we're gonna pick up all the gems we can. But also meeting people. We want to meet a lot of people there. Also, I'm hoping to connect with other entrepreneurs and even people who are not entrepreneurs. I just like to listen to see how other people think and what they're doing on their journey, because everybody there is trying to better themselves, and that's why I like that type of environment. So one issue is on Saturday for InvestFest, I will actually not be there, but of course, Deshaun will be holding it down. I actually just started a new doctorate program, and of course, one of the days is on that Saturday. So, um, of, as soon as it's over, I'll be back there. I'll be back at the Georgia World Congress Center as soon as possible. But while I'm absent, of course, Deshaun will be holding it down.
Yeah, man. Don't worry about it. They'll be good, bro. It'll still be an event to be had for sure. And yeah, the folks will miss you. I'm sure folks will miss you. But like you said, you'll be there as soon as the time allows you to. And congratulations again, bro. Like that
I
position
appreciate it.
is huge, bro. Yeah, you deserve it for sure. Like, you worked very
Appreciate it.
hard. You've accomplished the amount of degrees, the amount of years, the amount of experience, all that, man. So just kudos to you. And then also, congrats on you enrolling in your doctorate program. You feel me? I don't know if you want to dive
Yeah.
into that,
So
but
I just announced the doctorate program, but also I did get a job.
oh,
So that's
oh,
what's
why you
up.
getting? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Nah.
I was talking about the position, but also doctorate program, new position, a lot of positive things happening, bro.
A lot of
Really.
positive things, and it happened at the same time. So I just got to stay intentional. I learning the new position. I'm now in a admin role, more of a leadership role, where I'll be supporting special education teachers.
There you go.
So I'm happy for that. And as I said earlier, in the doctorate program, so a lot of doors should be opening soon. Thank you
Absolutely.
for that, Deshaun.
Of course, man. Of course. Of course, man. But look, that's only a piece of the life of Cornell. He's also a financial educator, and that's what today is about, right? So let's dive into it, man. Today's episode, we we like to cover what's happening, right? What recent things that are happening, and last week, Nvidia did something wild. We've already seen Nvidia do crazy things in the market. We've already talked about Nvidia on a previous episode, but I mean, it just keeps passing. It keeps hitting new finish lines. So we're going to dive into the numbers, of course, later. But I think one of the biggest things that happened last week was that Nvidia actually surpassed Apple and Microsoft as the company with the largest market cap. It became number one. Even though it was short lived, it became number one last week. So, I mean, we've talked about Nvidia again on the episode, but let's just dive a little bit deeper into what exactly happened last week and then just kind of how Nvidia has been doing its trajectory. And then towards the end, of course, we'll talk about where we think Nvidia might be going. But go ahead, Cornell. I know you got all the data over
Yes.
there.
So currently today, Nvidia is sitting at $126 a share. Of course, I know you remember maybe a few weeks ago, Nvidia was over $1,000. The reason why it's sitting at $126 now is because it had a 10-for-1 split. So for every share that you had of Nvidia, now you have 10 in place of that. So year to date, which is crazy, Nvidia's up 162%. So that means you doubled and a half whatever you put in. So if you put in $100, you would have $262. If you put in $1,000, you would have $2,620, and so on and so forth. For the year, so if you bought Nvidia a year ago, you'd be up 199%, and if you bought Nvidia 5 years ago, you'd be up 3,239%.
That's
This is this is insane, and it's on par. It's actually more than what Bitcoin is doing.
yeah. And we know how volatile Bitcoin has been. But Nvidia, the main difference is that it's just continued to grow. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't been as fluctuate. It hasn't fluctuated as much as Bitcoin because a couple years ago we saw Bitcoin close to where it's at now. I mean, a little bit lower, but then all the way back down. Like Nvidia is not doing something like that. It is a true pure growth stock, right? It um so yeah, the growth that it's had in the past 5 years, 10 years has been insane. So yeah, and I think that what I what I think will also be good, like you mentioned stock splits, right?
Yes.
I think I want to quickly just talk about why companies choose to do a stock split. I know that you explained it a little bit, but just like a quicker, more detailed description of it. The reasons why a company might stock split. A lot of it has to do with like a couple of things, right? It increases the liquidity that the company actually has, and then even more so, it changes the perceived value. A lot of times in the stock market, they use like psychological numbers to increase the desire of a stock. And if you see a stock that's $1,000, and then that same stock is now 110, more people are probably going to buy it, right? Of course, that 110 to someone who already had shares, it's not worth the same as that one share that they had at 1,000. But a huge reason as to why people or why companies do this stock split is because they want to change the perceived value. Uh, they want to make it more desirable. They want to make it more quote unquote affordable for people to purchase. But yeah, just a quick lesson on what stock splits actually are and then why companies sometimes do it. But back to the regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, Nvidia growth is insane. I did want to ask too. Does Nvidia do dividends?
Nvidia does do dividends. So, of course, before the stock split, Nvidia was doing 10 cents per share. Now, after the stock split, because the stocks are worth less now, each share that you have grants you 1 cent every quarter.
Yep, 10
Yep.
cents per share. Stock split, just like yeah, it's split 10 to 1. So the
Mm,
dividend split 10 to 1. Yeah, got
That's
you.
what I'm saying. Yeah, and so earlier this week, as Deshaun said, Nvidia did something crazy. Its market cap actually passed that of Microsoft and Apple. Remember, Microsoft was, and now is back to being the most valuable uh business in the stock market. But the fact that Nvidia briefly passed this company is insane. But currently Nvidia is sitting at 3.11 trillion. Microsoft is at 3.3 trillion, and Apple is sitting at 3.18 trillion. So right now, Nvidia is back in the number three spot, but who's to say um, that they won't soon be number one again? Because the thing about these these businesses, both Microsoft, Apple, even Amazon, all of them are relying on Nvidia to advance because everybody's getting into AI, and the chips that Nvidia, the software that Nvidia has is superior to any other semiconductor business. So the fact that they're in high demand is just it's looking like Nvidia is going to soon pass up and pretty badly when it comes to pass up Microsoft and Apple.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of hit it on the head, bro. The fact that Nvidia is dominating the chip making space in most fashions, not just gaming, which is what it's commonly known for, right? But now just chips in general, just technology, computer processing power. Like it is doing things that other chip makers like AMD, they just haven't reached that level of efficiency yet. So it's hard to even say that Nvidia's competition is like it's like a quite a big gap between first place and second place. You know what I mean? And they're only coming out with things faster. They're only coming out with better processing units. The more I read about Nvidia, it's like, wow, 30 times faster processing than its predecessor, coming out soon. Um, Game systems are kind of hitting that time where it's almost time for them to come out with something new, right? Like, and I feel like they are probably going to lean on Nvidia chips. I mean, why not? That they've been using it, so it just doesn't seem like Nvidia has any stops. You know, it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to push, but just like how the stock market works, it's not always just cut and dry. Like companies do great stock market where stocks go up. There's always a wave with the stock market. So with Nvidia's constant march forward, do you think that there is a need or an expected, or even just like what do you think as far as pullback, right? Because we always say the market goes up and down, but Nvidia is hitting nothing but checkpoints. So what would make it pull back, if anything?
I feel like it's due time for Nvidia to pull back. To be honest, when I look at the chart, 200% in 1 year is crazy. It's insane. So, um, I feel
It
like
is crazy.
it is time for it to be have a pullback. And my thing is, no matter what's going on, I never buy anything at a all time high. I never buy anything at a 52-week high. Even if I like a stock, if I see that it's on at an all time high, when I get my check, I'm gonna purchase something that's not at an all time high.
Hmm.
You know, there are other stocks that I like, but it's risky no matter what the stock is to buy in, especially if you're doing it short term. I know a lot of uh, what we teach, we try to get people to invest long term, but even if you're doing it, especially if you're doing it short term, I would not buy anything at all time high.
Hmm. So then, right now, because most things are at an all-time high, most
Right,
things, at least in tech, are. So
most things.
most things, not all. So what are you putting your money in now?
This previous paycheck, I put into AMD. AMD is nowhere near its all
Yeah,
time high. Hmm.
yeah, it's not. It's not even close. And I've been putting similar, like thinking that AMD would start to grow with the video. It's just not doing the same. But I know that's short sighted. You gotta,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
And I'm also, still loading up on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's pretty, I say it's about 10% from its all time high.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
still putting into it. It dropped to about 63,000. So, I'm still loading up on that. I have a heavy position in it, and I'm hoping to see some great things,
Yeah,
and we'll see.
definitely. Yeah, Bitcoin is always one of those. Yeah, people say might have missed the boat. It's too late to get into Bitcoin, but I don't know, man. I feel like
I don't
that's a
think so.
conversation. That's a whole other conversation. Bitcoin might be one of those things that just end up going crazy in the next couple of years, but it's also very expensive according to the number, right? But the goal ain't to get a Bitcoin; it's to just invest, like not an entire Bitcoin, not right now. Um, but yeah, man. So I think that Nvidia, if it does experience this pullback, it'll have to happen when the market itself pulls back, like everything in the market pulls back. Because right now, the market is marching forward. Like SPY hits new highs every week. You feel me? QQ
Yes.
Nasdaq hits new highs every week. So unless that changes, unless we're starting to see a downturn in all of the market, I don't see Nvidia. I mean, of course, it might be stagnant. It might go down a little bit. Like even right now, like you said, it's at 126. It hit 140 just last week. So from 140 to 126, that's not really a pullback. Uh, that's just the market flowing because before that it was above 126. Point is, I think that the market might continue to grow, uh, including Nvidia. I don't want to give like specific numbers, but I think that Nvidia, I don't see it pulling back anytime soon. Honestly, I think that
I'm
it's
hoping to see it at least at 110. I'm
yeah.
hopeful. I feel like 110 is my number to start pulling the trigger on Nvidia. But right now, just looking at the chart, man, I wouldn't say I missed the boat, but I definitely don't have enough in Nvidia to say I really had it made good on it.
Right,
Because what I have in there is up 600%, but it's not enough to be happy about. You see
right.
what I'm saying? So
Six
I
hundred
wish that.
$5. You know.
Yeah, so I I missed the mark on that one, but to all the people that caught it, hey, kudos to you because it's a this is a crazy run, and it's not something I was expecting. And the thing is, like I kept hearing about Nvidia, and see, this is why you kind of have to know how to sim through the noise because sometimes they say when you're hearing about something, that means it's too late. But how long have we been hearing about Nvidia?
But I think here's the thing: where were you hearing about Nvidia? Was it
Everywhere.
on the regular news? Like I don't even. We don't really watch.
On the podcast that I listen to,
Mm-hmm.
people I talk to other people that invest in the stock market. They've been talking about it, and that's what got me in the small position that I have. That's how I know that I've been hearing it for about it for a while
Yeah,
because yeah, the fact that my position is up 600%, that means I had to have been in it for about 2 years at least.
that's. I think that when the news, like the news outlets, get a hold of it, that is probably a sign that it has already happened. Not like the people you talk about because they're probably doing research like you, or the podcast individuals that you're listening to. They're probably involved. I think like with anything, like with Bitcoin, right? Like once it exploded, the news talks about it, the Bitcoin price now after it already happened, and now everyone's talking about Nvidia like publicly, like on the news and stuff like that. But like you said, you've
So
talked to people. Go ahead.
so is it too late now?
We gonna see.
We gonna see.
We gonna see, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gonna see.
but nah, it's definitely a great stock to have long term. As far as short term, I see a pullback, but longevity, I feel like this is the stock to be in. I'm just trying to get, I'm just waiting for it to fall to a price where I can get a good position. But I'm not gonna force anything. But I do think long term that this is a great stock to have in your portfolio.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like we always say, man, um, there's a lot of ways you can slice getting into the stock market. You don't have to buy an entire share of Nvidia. You don't have to like purchase an entire Bitcoin. You don't have to do it all at once. You can dollar cost average. You can buy fractional shares. Uh, but if the goal is to start your financial freedom journey, investing in the stock market is one of the greatest ways to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but it's one of the greatest ways to do it. So if you are listening to this episode and you have not gotten introduced to the stock market, I mean, we have plenty of resources. We have our Facebook group that you can always join where we talk about stocks all the time. We have over 40 episodes of us just talking about different ways to invest, different stock market facts. So, I mean, and then we also just have our information out there. You can hit us up on Instagram, anything like that. We just want people to get more involved, right? And that's the reason why we talk about all this. So, yeah, Nvidia is doing something crazy. People are talking about it a lot, but don't ever feel like you missed any opportunity because the stock market is gonna keep being the stock market. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. Hey, and well said. And definitely y'all join the Facebook group. Let's start talking about finances. Let's help each other out, like just with information. Because you might know something that the next person might not know, and you might see something in there that you didn't know that could change the trajectory of your life. So just, be intentional. Surround yourself with people that are trying to move forward. Because there's a lot of people that aren't even thinking about moving forward. So just position yourself in the right places. And a Facebook group can definitely be one of them. It's a community.
yeah. And man, and get off the sidelines, man. Also, like and subscribe. Also, if you haven't looked at the book, check it out. Amazon, 6-step process. There's a lot of things out there that, again, can just assist you on your journey. Um, but yeah, man,
Sounds good. Hey, and as always, thank y'all for your support. And yeah, thank y'all.
another great week, another great episode. Peace out.